A gruesome discovery in Leon County, Texas. DPS investigating after 5 bodies were found near where convicted murderer Gonzalo Lopez made his escape. Good evening, everyone. That is breaking news we're starting with tonight. I'm Chris Radcliffe.
And I'm Leslie Draffin. Again, that breaking news coming into the newsroom just a few hours ago. Law enforcement says they have found 5 bodies in Leon County, and they believe this may be linked to that escaped Texas inmate who went, I guess, missing about 3.5 weeks ago. Yeah,
they say he could be responsible. Authorities saying that a family member called 911 after they weren't able to get a hold of an elderly relative. In the discovery, law enforcement found 2 adults and 3 children, all dead. Again, this is a developing story with details still coming in. Law enforcement said Gonzalo Lopez might have taken a 1999 white Chevrolet single cab pickup truck with the license plate, and this is important here, DPV as in Victor 4520, DPV 4520. Texas DPS says he is likely armed and dangerous and traveling in an unknown direction.
And Texas DPS holding a press conference now in Leon County. Let's listen in.
4520, and we do believe at this time that the prime suspect is Gonzalo Lopez. Lopez may be driving this vehicle, and so we ask the public to be on the lookout. Again, it's a white 1999 single cab silver or white Silverado that has damage on the driver's side. And it's also believed that Lopez may be armed. So should you see this vehicle, we ask that you call local law enforcement. Please know that this remains a very active investigation. In fact, the crime scene is still being processed at this time by both Leon County and DPS. But please know that we will not rest until Gonzalo Lopez is in custody. A massive manhunt is underway by local, state, and federal officials to track his movements and bring him into custody. Please know that he cannot run forever. And I would urge Lopez to give up at this time, because he will be brought to justice and he will be brought into custody. At this time, I'm going to take some questions.
What evidence? I know that you all were saying earlier in conferences that you all believe he was in the area. What evidence, if you all still have any, that shows that he's still in this area and that he could have done this?
I'm not going to get into specific evidence, but there is some information for us to lead to believe that Gonzalo Lopez was the individual that broke into that residence and committed these murders.
Do you know if he had any relation to the people inside that house?
We don't believe that at this time. These individuals, this is not a residence, a permanent residence, it's more of a weekend home. And these individuals were seen earlier this morning. So we do believe that those homicides took place at some point this afternoon, likely afternoon.
How were they killed?
I'm not going to get into those details.
Long bed or short bed on that white truck, and is it single cab or double cab?
It is a single cab, and it appears to be a short bed with some damage on the driver's side.
Did the white Chevy that you guys are searching for, is that owned by one of the victims? We ran the license plate for the owner of that, and they have a laundry list. It looks like a violent offenses. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. That pickup is actually just a farm truck, okay, and it was parked there at the residence. They had purchased it some time ago. It's unclear whether they had actually registered it in their names. Again, it's just a farm truck that we believe Lopez stole.
What would you say to those who have been watching the manhunt and are a little bit concerned about the concerned about the Texas Department of Criminal Justice finding Lopez with another murderer right now still on the run, Jose Diaz? What trust or what hope would you give them with another murderer still on the run that happened under the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's custody?
Sure, I'll just tell you that we're not going to rest until he's in custody and brought to justice. Lopez is obviously a killer. He has a disregard for human life. We know that. Law enforcement knows that. And so we'll continue to search for him doggedly until he's brought into custody.
What do you know about the family that was found dead? 2 adults and 3 children that were found dead in the home where apparently the suspect was. What do you know about this family?
The family is not local. They are from the Houston area. And again, this was not a primary residence. This was a weekend residence. Their loved ones became concerned whenever they were unable to contact them. And that's what led investigators to that residence. I will tell you that we have cleared that area and cleared that residence multiple times. That is within our search perimeter. And TDCJ remained in this area. I can tell you that that residence was within our primary search perimeter. TDCJ has kept personnel in this area. Just today we had more than 40 roving officers that were in this area. But again, that residence had been cleared multiple times, and we believe that that family showed up at that residence today.
Yeah, viewers from Houston. Do you know what part of Houston?
I'm sorry?
Had you made contact, like talked to them on the phone before they came here, contacting all the families as you made the perimeter? Had y'all ever spoken to them? Did they know that a search was going on?
Yes. So as far as contact, we would place evidence tape on the residences to indicate that they had been searched. And I know that we have had multiple conversations with residents all throughout this area.
Did they know, coming to their house, would they have talked to them? Did they know that this
I can't speak specifically on whether that family, whether we had contact specifically with them, but I can tell you that this has been a significant amount of media coverage throughout the area. We have a command post that is set up nearby. We have more than 40 roving officers in and around this area, to include roving around that, to include also evidence tapes that's placed on residents as they're cleared. So, you know, again, TDCJ has continued to search this area, search for Lopez. We did not have evidence that brought him out of this area, and so that's why we remained, and that's why we continued to search.
Is it believed that he's been in that house for more than the 3 weeks, or since this time?
No, it had been cleared multiple times, and so we think that he was in that residence recently.
So how was he able to evade officers, 40 officers, for 3 weeks?
I won't get into those details, but obviously he was able to stay within the woods, get into residence to get water and food, and possibly change his clothing.
He's been missing since May 12th. What is your agency's course of action?
Right, the course of action right now is to continue the search. So again, we'll leave no stone unturned, and we continue to search for Lopez. This is not just a TDCJ search. This is a local, a state, a federal search across the entire country.
How much manpower have you added?
As for the murders, are you all white? I'm hearing reports that he could be in camo now. Could you talk about maybe what this looks like, what he possibly changed into?
I can't say specifically what he's wearing, but we do believe that he would have potentially taken some clothes from that residence and potentially some firearms.
Jason, you mentioned that this residence was off Highway 7. On the 20th, when you guys announced the update search perimeter, the updated search, you guys reopened Highway 7, and obviously...
All right, we're going to jump out right now. You've been listening to a press conference in Leon County. Big developments. Gonzalo Lopez is now wanted. Again, the search continues, but Leslie, there's some real confusion tonight about what may have happened, but it looks like we've got 5 people dead in a home that wasn't their primary residence, and it looks like he might have met them there, then something occurred, and now we've got 5 bodies.
2 adults and 3 children.